we talked about this a couple different times this week, that in heading into this game, the last 2 weeks, nobody had run the ball more on first down than the Cowboys, and yet they were one of the more inefficient teams in the NFL at it on those first down runs. They were bottom third of the league in terms of yards per carry on first down runs the last 2 weeks, so they haven't been doing it particularly well. And yet they continue to hammer it over and over and over again. And last night was another example of them doing just that. They ran the ball. It was 19 times on first down last night, Sean.
Wow.
They picked up 33 yards rushing on those 19 carries.
That's gross.
And it's incredibly frustrating because it's like, what are you doing exactly here? What is the end game? Are you trying to put your offense in third and long situations and just then say, okay, go bail us out, Dak? Because
maybe they're trying to, right? Beginning of the year, the formula was, let's protect the defense. They're an all-time great possible special elite unit, which was, I said, overblown at the time. They did nothing special. Sometimes they did get to the quarterback when they were on. But let's protect this defense who isn't playing well right now. And they wanted to run the football, and maybe they don't want Dak turning it over as much.
Okay, if you don't want Dak turning it over as much, though, do you want to put him in third and long situations for him to potentially cause problems? So this has been a frustrating thing. We talked about in the Philly game, the 3 longest pass plays that the Cowboys had, the 52-yarder to T.Y. Hilton, the 36 and 26 to CeeDee Lamb, those all came on 3rd and 7 or longer. And so they were in these bad positions where Dak is having to bail them out of it. And so I've been wondering about this, and we talked, how much did we talk yesterday about the one thing you can't do against Tennessee is run the ball? Period. They're not going to let you do it. They're one of the best run defenses in the NFL at this, so it's a little bit puzzling. We all thought, I think, that they'd come in there and try and throw the ball around a little bit, but Kirk Herbstreit was talking in the middle of...
And they did throw it 41 times.
They did, and partly because they ended up having to. But Kirk Herbstreit was talking in the middle of the first quarter, I think on the first scoring drive they went on, and was discussing the Cowboys' philosophy.
That was their identity, is their run game. As much as Dak and CeeDee Lamb and these receivers get the attention, Kellen Moore telling us this week that, hey, listen, we know that they're good against the run. We gotta hang with it. We gotta find ways to be able to run the football with Zeke tonight and eventually maybe Malik Davis, because it sets up our play action game and where we can attack over the middle of this defense where they're really vulnerable.
What? To all of that? What? So they acknowledge that it's really difficult to run on Tennessee. And Kellen Moore tells Kirk Herbstreit, this is probably going to be really tough, but we got to stick with it. Got to just keep doing it. Got to keep banging your head against a wall, which is exactly the Jason Garrett line. Jason Garrett said that, I believe, I can't remember which game that was earlier this year. I think it was the Philly game, leading into that game where Jason Garrett had said on the pregame show, look, you're not going to have a lot of success running the ball, but you got to keep doing it.
Right.
Why? Well, because, it sets up the play action game. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Data has been shown over and over again. You can look these up. Football Outsiders, filling in for RJ Choppy admirably there. Football Outsiders, Bill Barnwell will write about that. Ben Baldwin, The Ringer. You can Google around and find these articles. This one's just from the Weekly Spiral from earlier last year. And it says, play action effectiveness isn't reliant on whether a team is good at running the ball or even if a team runs the ball at all. A limiting belief from coaches is that they have to establish the run to be able to have effective play action. Data does not support that. For years, play action success rate has been uncorrelated to rush attempts and rushing success rate. Running play action has shown to be just as effective when you run the ball 30% of the time as it is when you run it 50% of the time. What's more, it doesn't matter if you're breaking off big chunks on those runs either. That's true in season-long data sets and within individual games as well. So whether it's a small sample size or a large sample size, whether you're running it 100 times or one time, whether you're picking up 5 yards of carry or 1 yard of carry, play action is stable. It does what it does. And so for a team that has been so committed and a regime that has been so committed to hey, we're really leaning into the analytics now. and we're doing, this and that. It's an incredibly outdated perspective to say we have to run the ball ineffectively in order to effectively run play action. BS.
So why do you think they're doing it?
I think it's just I think they believe it. I don't think they're lying. I think they believe that. And I think they're just, more going, well, I understand the tone of the game. It goes deeper than numbers. I think it's that sort of mindset there. It's essentially caveman football, which is, something that Mike McCarthy said he wasn't doing anymore. Something that Kellen Moore in interviews before said he likes analytics and he wants to do things a certain way. Well, that's very 1993 football there for you. And then on the back end of that quote, that's the most ridiculous part of that quote that I heard, was saying attack the center of this defense, which is very vulnerable. So you're recognizing a vulnerability on this team, and you don't think you can take advantage of vulnerability until you waste time spinning your wheels against their biggest strength. What is that philosophy? What is like I have no idea what they think they're accomplishing doing that. Since Dak, or for the entire season, Dallas leads the NFL in rushing attempts on first down by a pretty sizable margin. They rank 25th in yards per carry on first down.
Wow.
So
it's
they are
been proven it's not working.
They are in the bottom quartile of the bottom quartile, to paraphrase Jim Irsay's awful quote, of rushing efficiency, and yet they are at the very top in terms of how frequently they do it. And since Dak came back into the lineup in week 7, the Cowboys are, what is this right here? They have run 52 times. They've had to throw the ball on 3rd and 7 or greater. When you look at other teams on this list, other teams that are near the top of the NFL in terms of offense, Buffalo, Kansas City, Philadelphia, those are the other teams right around Dallas in the offense. Kansas City has the 2nd fewest passing attempts on 3rd and 7 plus in that time. Philly has the 3rd fewest. Buffalo is in the top 10. These teams don't put their quarterback in a position where they have to throw the ball on 3rd and 7. Dallas, on the other hand, especially in the last month, has consistently committed to, let's do it. Let's put you in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. And Dak, I think, has...
That Giants game, that's what I remember most, recent memory, him bailing them out with these throws up. Your throw above expectation is a good and a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like,
yeah.
It's a good thing that you're able to do it. It shows, like, fantastic ability. But, man, when I hear you have a tremendously high throws above expectation, I'm thinking you're being put where you're making difficult throws.
Yeah, you're putting yourself into you're putting your quarterback in some tough positions.
Do you think it's more coming from Kellen or McCarthy? Because I think Mike's old school.
I think Mike's old school too, but I think Kellen is orchestrating the offense, and I think Kellen's doing what he's doing. And I mean,
and then yesterday Dak starts off right. It's different if your quarterback's not playing well. It's why I was fighting with everyone at halftime. All the Dak asses, the haters. And I'm like, Dak's playing well, guys. What are you watching? He started off 9 of 10 for 65 yards. After 3 quarters, they ran it 25 for 74.
With a 30-yard run in there or whatever it was, 25-yard run, whatever Malik did.
With Malik at 23, right? Malik had a 23-yard run. 3 yards a carry. Like, it's the old Jason Garrett definition of insanity. And they finished the game with a horrific 2.7 average. And that's with Malik at 23, ripping one off for that yardage amount. It's just weird. It's like, it's clear. Their secondary sucks. They commit crazy penalties. Throw it up to Gallup. Get it to T.Y. on 3rd. Let CD dominate. Stop bashing your head against the wall, but it's the way they're doing it.
And that's the maddening thing about this, is that it's not that they don't understand it. It's not that they see it differently and think, well, no, we're doing this effectively, whatever. In that quote, he checks all the boxes. He understands it perfectly. This is going to be really difficult for us to run on first down. It's going to be incredibly inefficient. We're going to do it anyway, over and over again. Even though we recognize they are completely vulnerable to play action and throwing the ball deep down the center. The one thing you can say maybe they don't have an understanding of, or that the quote doesn't confirm if they have an understanding of, is this belief that you have to run the ball to set up play action. There's no evidence of that, because
got to establish physicality.
You know what would happen?
Hat on a hat.
If you're not running the football well, it doesn't matter. There's still rules within Dan Quinn's defense and every other defense in the NFL that says you can't just assume that's not going to be handed off. Like you have certain keys, you have certain responsibilities. So if you were going to sell the play action, somebody on that defense is going to have to keep an eye on it, regardless of if you're doing it well or not.
Who else is on your star up, star down? I'm trying to think of like the top 3 black sheep in town on this team. I think Kelvin is 1, Kellen is 2, and who would you say 3? Would you say was Dak 3?
Probably. Even though
who else could be 3? Is it turning into Noah Brown? I hope not. Is it Nashawn Wright? Has he played enough to become that?
I mean, any of the corners who have been in that rotation, Kelvin Joseph, Anthony Brown.
Would have been Anthony
Nashawn
Brown if he
Wright.
didn't get hurt.
Yeah. Leighton Vander Esch was kicked pretty severely until he got hurt, and I think people see, oh, he's good.